begin by taking the quinoa, using 1/4 cup of dry quinoa. Add it to a couple cups of cold water in a bowl. And we're going to let this soak for 15 minutes. So just make sure the quinoa is submerged. And while the quinoa is cooking, you're going to want to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil and warm it up on the griddle. You can use olive oil or you can use canola oil. I prefer canola oil because it has 1 gram of saturated fat per serving instead of 2. But it's really up to preference. Just pour into the skillet that you will be using. And you can start out with 1 or 2 tablespoons depending on what all you're going to be frying up. If you want to make half a batch or make a whole batch and use half of it now and then save half of it for tomorrow, that works too. But what we're going to use this for is sauteing. Some people like to saute onions. I'm actually cooking for someone who does not like onions. So I'm just going to saute the garlic. But if you were to saute the onions, you would saute them for 1 minute and then you'd add the garlic. So just put your oil on about a medium heat. Alright, if you have fresh garlic, go ahead and use it. The fresher the better. Just take a couple cloves, mince it up. Thicker if your preference is chunks or if you want to mince it really fine. It's up to you. And just add that to the oil. And if you don't have fresh garlic, that's perfectly fine. Minced garlic will work, just about a tablespoon or 2. Again, up to you how strong you want it. And then you're just going to take that and kind of saute it in the oil. Saute this for about a minute, and if you have an onion, then you can saute that for about a minute and then add the garlic. Then you're going to want to take your quinoa that has been soaking for about 15 minutes and drain it. And then just kind of make. Next, we're going to make sure our garlics are about a cappuccino color, nicely fried. Then we're going to add our quinoa, a half a cup of warm water, you want to add a half teaspoon of salt. I prefer using either kosher salt or sea salt just because it has a richer flavor. 1/2 teaspoon. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon, or however much you feel like putting in. And when you're cooking like these kind of meals, you can add your own flavors. Everything is really up to your personal preference. I like a lot of flavors. Some people like a more mild flavor, so you maybe want to try this and then try it a little differently next time and find the taste that's right for you. So you're basically just going to stir these seasonings around, get a nice rich flavor going here, and bring it to a boil. So we're going to turn up the heat and wait for it to boil. Shouldn't take too long. Once boiling, give it a little bit of a stir. Turn it down to simmer and cover. And we're going to wait 14 minutes. While our quinoa mixture is cooking, we're going to make the egg mixture. Now, we're just going to need 2 large eggs. And take these 2 eggs and beat them, just as if you were making scrambled eggs. Then you're going to add in your seasonings. I've got a little bit of parsley, a little bit of oregano. Measure, if you will, about a tablespoon of parsley, tablespoon or less of oregano, and whatever else you want. Got a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of sweet flavor. If you have basil, fine too. I really, as I said before, I like flavors. This one is a Smokehouse Maple Grill Mate. My husband loves these. He has all the different flavor combinations, but it's really just a mix that they make, and this is actually my favorite. It adds a sweet mapley flavor. Just add a bit of that in there. Again, preference. Now our eggs look really colorful. Kind of like greenish reddish. We got that all nicely mixed in there. Then we add a cup of kernel corn. Now you're just gonna have to wait till the quinoa's done. We've got about 5 more minutes, so do what you want. I like to clean up, keep my kitchen nice and clean in between. Alright, now that it's been about 14 minutes, we're gonna turn it off and set it to the side. We're gonna let it stand for a little bit, keep all that heat in there, and just let it sit for about 5 minutes. Alright, after you've let it sit for about 5 minutes, it should look something similar to this. You're gonna wanna add it into the corn mixture. Once it's thoroughly mixed, you're ready to start cooking the patties. I'm going to put this back on medium high. Put a little bit more olive oil, although it has some left over. And you can save some of this. It doesn't have to be cooked immediately, but I would cook it within about 24 hours. So if you wanted to make this the night before and have a nice healthy breakfast in the morning that has lots of protein and fiber and vegetables, you could do that, or you could, make it right now like we're gonna do for lunch. Scoop them out. You can make the patties smaller or larger, depending on how you want to eat them. I'm making 2 smaller patties right now, just because I think that's a little bit easier to deal with. Just wait for it to cook. About 2 to 3 minutes per side should be enough. And sometimes it comes apart. That's okay. It'll still taste delicious. Alright, then you're going to take these and transfer the patties to a paper towel just to kind of get off the excess oil for a little bit. Then bring them over here and serve them. How's that for a healthy, nutritious, delicious meal?